Hey everyone, welcome to another update. I wanted to do another, this being the second more informational. The other ones are informal. This one is more informational, um, about like the just discussion more. I'm hoping it's more open for discussion, and this time I've even done just a little bit of planning. Show you a quick. I know you couldn't see that at all, but we'll talk through it, so that's okay. I've actually written some stuff down this time, so we can. Whoa, that's not bump the desk. Yeah, so I'm a little more prepared this time than normal to talk. So that's pretty good. So my discussion today is one I've been kind of wanting to talk about for a while. About kind of the Halo versus Call of Duty fan debate, which has turned into less of a debate and more of just an argument. I hate that literally no one, I mean, that's not true, okay, not literally no one. A lot of people on the internet who aren't just trolling. Like, there's a lot of trolls, too, that do this just to start discussions that go out of control. But what I'm talking about is the people who are trying to have a conversation or trying to debate their thing, and really all it turns into is just angry cuss words, swearing back and forth, and name calling, crap like that, where it doesn't even become what's the word, like, I don't know, there's that can't talking ability again. My powers can't go away. I was thinking about this the other day, and like just continuing on this whole Superman or superpower ability of not being able to talk. What would be my kryptonite? It'd be a dictionary, I guess. But that's off topic. Let's get back on topic. Just, I don't know, like, when the swearing and name calling goes back and forth, it turns into less of a discussion, and nothing is creditable. Like, everything you say from that point on will just be seen as you're an idiot, and you're not gonna say anything knowledgeable, so why should I even start listening to you? So it really, I think people too many times come off too aggressive, and to the point where their word almost means nothing. So I've kind of, anytime I can, I always I talk to these people. I know it's totally not gonna help anything because there's so many people that are like this, But I mean, the fact is, if people would actually take the time to discuss what they were talking about, it happens all over the place when there's discussion. I mean, even in politics and stuff, there's people, like, I always think of Bill O'Reilly, is like, he just takes things, like, to the point where he won't admit that he's wrong once he figures out that he's wrong or whatever, when someone makes a very knowledgeable point against him. I love the people, like, there's always those videos all over YouTube, if you go find them, of people who are, like, unsuspectingly knowledgeable about the topic that's at hand, and people almost don't give him credit until the point they start talking, and Bill O'Reilly just gets his mouth shut up and he can't talk anymore because he's been beaten, but he still just he turns to name calling and just gets angry, and you can totally see it in his face, so I definitely don't like when people do that, it's just think about what you're saying and actually make what you're going to say creditable so that you actually make sense and people will listen to you and you actually maybe make a good point. So what I've kind of done is to take that approach, actually thought about what I was going to say a little bit, and I don't know, just to kind of start. So in Call of Duty versus Halo, I know a lot of people like them, and I'm totally okay with people who like one or the other, or even both, I personally am more of a Halo fan, and will always probably be. It doesn't mean I don't like Call of Duty, I just prefer Halo, and I have a lot of problems with both. I know I've said that in the past. I have a lot of problems with both, but at the same time, I like a lot of things about both. The reason I like Halo more is I kind of feel like the strategy involved to do a lot of things, like the kills. I was thinking about this. What did I call it? Kind of the kill strategy of both games are different, and I called it kind of the how to get a kill versus how to get to getting the kill. So, like, for Halo, it's kind of about it's a strategy about what you use and how you go about using it. Whereas, I mean, Call of Duty has a little bit of that, where you can use different guns and stuff like that, or grenades, or equipment, or whatever, and there's a lot of skill involved in that, and also instinct in knowing how to use it, and just kind of getting used to maps and stuff like that, where spawning's going to happen. That's true in both games, really. But, I think for the most part, I, maybe a little prejudiced, would say Halo has a little more it takes a little more skill involved. I mean, there's aspects of Call of Duty that take a lot more skill than just running and gunning, like a lot of people do. Um, but for the most part, I feel like that's really all it is you just get a good gun. Once you get a high enough level and enough credits to unlock it, you get a high enough level and stuff like that, and you unlock this gun that's like the best gun. Usually, I know a lot of people have preferences, but there's usually this like good gun that everyone uses, and you can really just go down and shoot everyone down in a couple shots with like hard stopping power, whatever it is. Sorry, I'm not a big fan, and like that's what I'm saying. I'm not as big a fan, so I don't know a whole lot about Call of Duty compared to Halo. So I know this is a little prejudiced, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep an open mind. So if you have your comments about either, go ahead and put them down below as always. But to continue, so what I was talking about though is because with the exclusion of SWAT in Halo, kills take a little bit of time before you can actually get a kill, unless so besides SWAT and also Classic Slayer, like in the anniversary playlists and stuff, it takes up to 5 shots in the head or whatever with the DMR to get a kill. And so thinking about that, you can either do that or there's grenades or stuff like that. So and I feel like it's a lot more oriented to teamwork as well. Because, I mean, both games could have their teamwork, but I feel like it's more, for Call of Duty, it's more one-on-one battles, and whoever wins that will put their team ahead, But for Halo, I feel like it's more oriented. If you're in a 2-in-1 situation, you're more likely to win, but there's still that situation where the one who's on his own could still get the kills and actually raise their score a lot more. That's not to say that you can't do that in Call of Duty as well, but I just really feel like it's almost like if you get caught, here's you, some guy comes running around, here's you. If some guy comes running around the corner and you just stop there, you literally, there's no way to get back. You can't just retreat or whatever. So I don't know, that enhanced me nothing, but literally once you're in that interaction, there's no way to escape that, whereas Halo, I feel like always has its outs where you can get away. And so I like that kind of gaming better, where I feel like I always have my options open, and there is that point still where you eventually won't have, where you're so hurt or whatever that you're not going to have an option except to die. But I like that it has more options than most games and stuff, so that's another thing I like about Halo over Call of Duty. Something I do like about, for both now going into less multiplayer and more campaign talk, a lot of people have talked about how Call of Duty games are more like a rehash of the last and stuff, and while it's true that I feel like they are very copycat of each other, I think they're released one a year even almost, even if it's a little more than that, but whatever it is, I still enjoy the campaigns. I still enjoy playing them, because they still have different aspects to them, even if it is the same kind of storyboard with you start in some unknown place with a cool cinematic kind of scene, and then you kind of go to a place. I mean, they've all been different. They have different ideas, but then, so really all I can kind of pull out of a rehash is it always goes from what I said at the beginning, and then at the end there's always some sort of a chase scene where you kill or almost kill the bad guy. So that's kind of why I'm assuming that's why people will quickly say that they're just a rehash. But if you think about the individual aspects within each game of Call of Duty, you really can see that there's different things that are new. They do update things, but at the same time I can understand why people think it's a rehash, and I can understand why a lot of people wouldn't like the campaigns because of that. But I personally do like it, and I guess it's not enough of a copycat for me as a turn off. So that's just something to think about for the Call of Duty side. Another thing I would say for Halo though is I like how long they take in between their games, to kind of develop everything to its fullest. I don't know if that means that I mean, I can understand, because Call of Duty uses the same engine every time, you haven't seen any update in graphics before. They might have a higher pixel or something, I don't know, I haven't updated, or I haven't researched anything like that, but for the most part, you can't tell any difference in the engine, whereas every iteration of Halo from Halo CE to 2 to 3 to Reach to 4 that's coming out now, you have seen a big jump in graphics every time. So you can definitely see that that's probably where a lot of their time goes into, is because they have to build it from the ground up every time. And that gives you something new and exciting to experience, along with, in that time, they have a lot of time to think about what they would like to implement to make it different and better. And so I think I appreciate more the work that Bungie and now 343 have put into their games to kind of give it the time and effort it deserves to before release, where things are going to seem different enough that you're actually getting your money's worth and you pay the $60 and keeps people coming back, especially with the new Spartan ops, I think that's definitely going to keep people coming back, and so I think that's a really cool new feature. And kind of to follow up on that, a lot of people have talked about how with the release of some new features in Halo 4 that we've now heard about, starting with the leaks a couple months ago, a lot of people are comparing now Call of Duty to Halo 4, where they think that 343 is just kind of ripping off a lot of the ideas of Call of Duty and their makers to kind of make their game better. And I don't understand where the problem is with that is. I mean, because I see that people like them, and I know a lot of this is coming from the Call of Duty fanboys who are totally opposed to Halo, but if they really would keep an open mind, you would see that if something is good in a different game, why would you not reuse it? Because that's only going to improve the game industry overall. I mean, you think about things like Black Ops, which it first came out with actually World of War came out with Infection originally with Nazi zombies. I think that's actually I don't know if they got that idea originally or not, but the first thing I can think of anything like that is definitely Horde mode in Gears of War. So I've thought about how Gears of War kind of spawned this new wave by wave kind of thing, where I know obviously that's not a new concept, but a lot of people hadn't taken that in until Horde mode came out, and then you kind of got Nazi zombies and then some firefight in Halo. So I think everything goes through its iterations, and people will take and adapt and improve the ideas that are given out to the general public, and really there's nothing going to stop that. But the only thing that can come of it is change, and usually that change can lead to either good or bad. But when it's good, you're only getting an improvement. So what's wrong with that? If it fails, then the only thing that's going to happen is that it makes it sound like it's some small thing. But I mean, it could ruin a game if they don't do it right. But at the same time, it also has the big opportunity to take it farther even and make it even more enjoyable for people that are willing to try it. So I think a lot of people are comparing Spec Ops to Spartan Ops. I mean, I think they could have probably chosen a better name than Spartan Ops, so that just wasn't there, that comparison. But at the same time, I don't know how similar they actually are, because you can see that for Spec Ops, there are missions that are more related to, at least the ones you get with the original game. I don't know about the DLC ones because I haven't bought the DLC. But you can see that they are closely related to actually what happens in the campaign that the game ships with. Whereas I see Spartan Ops as more of its own independent story that's actually going to expand the campaign rather than just kind of bring you back to it and give you more challenges for it. So that's kind of my input. Do I have anything else on here? Let's check it. Oh, I do know one more thing. One more thing I did want to discuss is that I kind of like the creativity that's brought with Halo more. I know you can definitely I know you can. Why can I not talk right now? My goodness, right now, ever. Why can I not talk ever? The custom game traits and stuff like that you can edit and stuff. I know you can do that in both Halo and Call of Duty, but I just kind of feel like, first of all, Halo has more to offer in that area where you can kind of do more unique things with it, and also, I don't know, just different things you can do and different game types that you can choose to change that kind of people have used to create some pretty interesting combinations, especially with another thing I was going to talk about is Forge. With combination of the... Ooh, can't talk. My goodness, sorry. With the combination of those two, with Forge and editing editing game types and stuff like that. I think you can create some interesting game types and some interesting just creations and stuff that you couldn't do without Halo and you couldn't do with Call of Duty. That are definitely a plus for the creative community. I think that definitely brings a lot more people in for that Call of Duty doesn't offer. So one thing I would like to see that's a big thing that also kind of goes towards the creativity and also customization thing that I was going to talk about, or that I did talk about, was how I like that some of the Call of Duty games, because I know it's like they switch off developers or whatever for every other game, which is also probably a part of why they can release them so quickly. But I like how you are able to customize your own emblem, with custom shapes and stuff like that. And I'd definitely like to see something like that in Halo sometime. Maybe 5 or 6, maybe even 4, but I don't think so. Not this time around. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But I definitely would like something like that, because it definitely brought out there were funny logos and just more creativity for the players. So why not, if it's possible to fit in? If it's not, then I also understand that, but I don't see why it couldn't be. Although I'm not a programmer, so I don't know what kind of things contradict each other or not. But other than that, I don't know. I personally prefer Halo because it's they're definitely different games, and I hate when people try to compare them to each other, because they both need to be treated differently and both can be respected in their own aspects. So I guess from there you gotta make your own decision, but mine would be over Halo, and it's definitely been Halo since the beginning. I'm only 17 years old, and I started playing Halo back in 2001 when I was 6 or 7 or 8, so I don't remember exactly what that was, and it's 2:30 in the morning, so I don't really feel like doing any math, but yeah, so I don't know, I've just been there kind of at the beginning, so that's my vote, and you're free obviously to make your own. So with that, I bid you adieu, and thanks for watching once again. I will definitely be creating more of these discussion kinds, so please keep coming back. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.